Welcome to the webinar training series for the Equals 2009-2011 Mathematics curriculum. In this webinar, participants will be provided with information regarding establishing a math focal point for the Equals Math curriculum. If you have any questions regarding Equals Math, you can contact the curriculum team by email at curriculum@ablenetinc.com. Please feel free to contact us for additional support or follow-up questions. Remember that implementing the Equals Math curriculum takes time, and one of the most important steps to being successful is to know which materials you have and how to organize them. Let's get started. Writing and discussing math is an important part of the Equals Math curriculum. A useful and effective way to keep students connected to the lesson is by creating a math focal point. For a focal point, you will want to find an area within your classroom that has plenty of space and is accessible to all of your students. When it is appropriate, you should encourage your students to add things to the math focal point. In order to do this, they need to have access to this space. By making the focal point easy to see, you will be providing your students with visual clues and reminders of what you are working on. This will help facilitate the math conversations you should be having with your students on a daily basis during your math instruction. You also want to make sure you have enough space to add to your focal point. If your students make connections to the lesson, you'll want to be able to add those connections to the focal point. You'll also want to have space to add manipulatives, the content and vocabulary cards, as well as posters and work mats that are used during the lesson. With that said, not every classroom or school will have a lot of space available, so some suggestions to save space would be to use a tri-fold board or an art easel as your focal point. You will also want to be cautioned on using the Equals Technology Lesson Center as your focal point. Once the computer is shut off, the focal point goes away. The strength in the focal point is that it can be referenced throughout the day across all subject areas. This way, we can support students in generalizing the concepts they are learning throughout the day. This is an example of what a math focal point could look like at the beginning of your lesson. You have the number notes poster where you can add your concrete connections, as well as vocabulary cards, pick symbols, and student comments. In addition to this, you could also have examples from the lessons, as well as work mats and posters. On the right, you can see the daily pick symbol schedule. This is a resource that is available in the members-only content for you and your students if it is something they will benefit from. This is a closer look at the Math Pick Symbol schedule available within the members-only content. These can be found within the Additional Resources folder. There is a pick symbol for each lesson activity, as well as other more common group activities that may support your lesson. This is an example of what your math focal point may look like at the end of your lesson. Notice the number notes poster has been filled out with information that is meaningful to students. If your students are readers, you may have a lot of text on your number notes poster. If your students are emergent readers, you may find that having pictures, pick symbols, drawings, closed sentences, or actual manipulatives fastened to the poster is a much more meaningful approach. The poster, much like the focal point itself, should be reflective of your students' learning style. What you choose to place in your focal point is up to you. The focal point becomes especially useful at the end of a lesson because you can use it as a review lesson to speak to exactly what has been happening, as well as the student's connection to the current lesson objective. As we conclude this webinar, I would like to thank you for your time today. The Equals Math curriculum provides consistency and support as students are introduced to new math skills. If you have any questions or would like to request a live training for the Equals Math curriculum, please contact a curriculum team representative at curriculum@ablenetinc.com. We look forward to hearing from you.